Good morning, everybody. So let's just kind of wait a moment, let everybody funnel in. Today's March 31st. Thanks for the comments on that. People like to know what day it is when we do these. That does make sense so that you can understand what is going on and what is the context of what we're discussing. So let's just jump into a couple things. First and foremost, the jobless claims are out and the PCE is out. Now, PCE actually came in better than anticipated. And so we're going to just kind of have to see how that plays out here. So in regards to everything, give me one moment. We'll set up and then we'll go from there. And we can begin. Now, so let's just go through this data so that we have it. So you're seeing the PCE, the price index, come in, the core price index, which is the one that they're going to look at. You're seeing that come in at 5.4 versus 5.5%. That's better than what we were looking for, the year over year number. And that's what people are going to focus on. Jobless claims came in a little higher, but not a lot, ticking back over that 200 level. But overall, this number is really good in regards to what we're expecting from the market in regards to how they're going to act on inflation. Here's the numbers. So what does that mean? 5.4%, 5.5%, 5.2%. 5.4 is what just came out. 5.5 was the estimate. 5.2 was the previous year over year number. So it's just important to understand that we came in lower and we spiked up on that. Now we're selling down a little bit. But just understand that, just understand what that is and what I don't know if everybody even knows what it is. Essentially what it does is it reflects the price of services and goods that consumers are buying. Okay. So it just reflects that. That's the easiest way to explain it. Here, let me just pop this in so that you can see this. Here's a very simple definition of what I just am talking about. I'm going to pop this in real quick. Banner and just pop that in. So this is what PCE is. It's a measure of the prices that people living in the U.S. or those buying on their behalf pay for goods and services. So the point here is the services as well, right? Not just the CPI number, which is showing you something a little bit different. CPI is basically showing you the cost of goods and how they're increasing. PCE is showing you, did your lawyer charge you more money? Is your accountant charging you more money? That kind of thing. So just kind of keep that in mind. It's a much stronger reading. They don't really talk about it too much. And so we'll go from there. Now, what does it mean for the market? Well, the market responded pretty favorably at first and then fell down. Let me get rid of all annotations and let's just look at what's transpiring. And we're just going to use, it's just so much simpler to use this instead of using like the e-minis. So we'll just focus on what's going on. So this was your spike at 8 o'clock this morning, right? On the oil reserves, everybody got a little excited. Then you have your spike on the 8:30 data. And already since the 8:30 data, you're just going to have to deal with the fact that like there should be, that's where you came out at 8:30 and you've already closed below that. So that tells you that even on good news, we are selling down. And that's not what you want to say. So that's definitely not what I want to say. I have some short positions on that we put on last night. My hope was that they didn't work this morning and that I could get back to being long. But if you're breaking this 8:30 level, then you're seeing exactly how you're being treated. And that's exactly what we need to look at. Somebody I shared the same video twice. Oh, let me just pop this in, this live thing. I'm sharing the wrong video. Hold on 1 second. That's a problem. And that means that people are not going to be able to get in here. Thank you. Posted. Give me a minute. I have to redo this now because I got the wrong video in. And that is wrong. So I got to delete this out and pop this in. that's not good. Give me 1 second. I made a mistake. Oh, I actually sent out the wrong video. That's not good. People are going to go to the wrong place. Well, I just redid it. So anyway, so let's just jump right into it and keep going. Apologize for that. So hopefully you understand that and what it means. So in regards to close your UPS short, I don't know. I mean, it's 8:38 in the morning. Like, well, so I shorted this yesterday. What's transpired that has made me want to close that? I mean, am I missing something? Like, I don't see a reason why there seems to be this level of we have to panic and we have to act. How about we just let things play out and then just set levels around them and then trade around those levels? It seems like that might be an easier strategy instead of stressing ourselves out every morning, right? Like the idea of actually coming up with a process that fits so that you can consistently pull money out of the market might be a better idea than panicking over every piece of data that comes out. I don't see any reason to do anything. I have a stock that is clearly rejected, that lured people in, clearly rejected, and we're already coming down. What are the indexes telling me? How are they responding to this? Well, this is down to flat. Maybe it breaks, maybe it doesn't. Maybe it holds this line, maybe it doesn't. I mean, everything's one big trade right now, right? You have a lot of data coming out today, a lot of data. We're just starting. You have Biden speaking at 1:30, you have OPEC meeting today. You have a lot going on. Window dressing ends today. Maybe this goes up, maybe it doesn't. But if I break 112, I think it's going to sell down fast. If you don't like the trade anymore, I think we put it on at like 114. It's at 115. You lost $1. Close it and see how you open. You can close it right now. So if you don't like the trade, simple. Like don't stress yourself out about one trade. This is making a lower low. It looks like it's going to try here. We got the 137.5 yesterday before the bounce at the end of the day. Everybody got excited about that bounce. Look, this is hanging in here. Okay, this could form and break. Absolutely. But let's let it do what it's supposed to do. This is pretty simple, right? You're 13, 14 points away from breaking that doji. Now let's take a look at that doji and see if we can get a better read on it. So, yep, you're 13 points away, 14 points away from breaking that. So what's the hurry here? I just don't see a massive flux to do anything. Now, TNA broke yesterday. That broke down. What is the bond market doing on this news? Bonds rallying. What happened the last time the bond market rallied? Stocks sold down. I mean, this is all connected now, right? The reason that you had this sell-off in bonds, like let's just talk about this for a minute so we don't, panic. Up 45% on the bond market, right? On the yield, I apologize. Up 45% on the yield. Look, it coincides directly with this. I mean, where'd the money go? It went to bonds, right? It went out of bonds into equities. Where's the money going now? It's going back in the bonds. I mean, don't overcomplicate this, right? What's the VIX doing? It's respecting this trend line. Just think about it from a macro standpoint, then look at it and then let it play itself out. But the jumping around and the panic it's unsustainable. I hope this drops 10% so I can buy it, right? Every time it's dropped 10% and you bought this, did you make money? If you did that all year and every time you bought every single dip in oil, did you make money this year? Yes. I don't know why people think that that's going to change. So just think about it from a macro standpoint and stop looking and judging everything by one trade. That's, if I could give a piece of advice today, that's how I would focus on setting up my trading system. Good morning. What's going on, Jen? Verizon and Tiger. So let's go through Verizon. I actually like Verizon. I like it as a company. I think that they have a pretty solid dividend. They have a much more loyal fan base than something like AT&T. Also with Vios, they get you in, they're in your house. I like the play a lot better. It's a much cleaner play than AT&T. And you can see the response to it versus, AT&T. Yes, you're down the same way because of yield, but you're hanging in here. You have buyers here. AT&T has massive issues. massive issues. And you have a lot of people fleeing this. So, just FYI, from these run-ups to here, people are saying, oh, I buy it for the dividend. Okay, well, how's that going? You're down 30%. So, you need to do your due diligence. Obviously, this came down as well, but nowhere near to that level, right? So from this to here, you're down, but you're down about half of that level. Okay, so something to consider. They're dying businesses, but there'll be cash cows. If you're looking for yield, I mean, people don't like to buy this because they don't want to, but there's yield. I mean, there's a really good, solid yielding company that you can buy. This is just a layup. I mean, this is just an absolute layup to just buy if you're looking for yield. Just buy it, leave it alone. BP tends to use other things to throw off their yield, to put it in trusts. They have different systems. I mean, that's why we trade this. So, and look at how this is done since the last war. This was the last war when oil prices and the power shift happened, and you can see how the power shift's affecting us here. So this can easily trade itself back up. So I mean, if you're looking for yield, it just gave you a bunch of them. So let's get to Tiger. So tried to rally, came to this level, rejected. So the issue that you have here is Gensinger has come out and stated that he's going to delist some of these companies. He's the CEO, or he's the head of the SEC. So whether or not he does do that or doesn't do that remains to be seen. So something to think about, just something to wrap your head around. I would not be going along this. I mean, could this squeeze? It could. Like he changed his entire outlook on what he was doing with these companies. So could they rally? Yes. Let's look at this through from a standpoint, though. Let me get rid of the bands. I'll throw everybody off with them today. So this is what you're seeing. You're just right in that level. Yeah, I mean, oil's already rallying a little bit here, isn't it? Bond, we're down. We're still down in the markets. So whether or not we stay down remains to be seen. We really don't know, but it's kind of bouncing around, and I'd rather see a reaction, frankly. I think it is better that it came in lighter, and it shows that they might not be in such a hurry to raise rates now, and that's one of the reasons why you're seeing people. Let's get rid of all this. That's one of the reasons why you're seeing people buy bonds. That's one of my concerns about the equity markets right now. So this comes in lower. Okay, we had 500 billion in outflows of bonds, which is one of the largest on record in 40 years. It flows into equities. There's a reason that this went and hit all-time highs, right? There's a reason that this is breaking out, right? This is all-time high since this has been around. So something to think about. Right? Something to think about. Why is this hitting all-time highs? People are chasing yield. They want to put their money somewhere. Okay, so this can go higher, but it's telling you right now that it's not as concerned, and you're watching it implode in front of us, right? You're seeing the yield rally. So you're seeing people buy bonds. Well, people are buying bonds. They're probably not going to buy equities. I don't think that this is just my thought. This is what's been driving the market. I'm not so sure we're going to see equities rally substantially while bonds are being bought. So that's what I've been using, and it's been working. Since you flipped here, the indexes haven't gone higher, right? And let's just kind of go through this so you get it. So since you've been here, we really haven't gone much higher, right? We rejected there, and now this is where you're at today. So maybe we hold, maybe we don't. So I would just let it play itself out and kind of go from there. But if the yields rally, it's going to be an issue. And it's definitely going to be an issue for these kinds of names. Let me just point this out so people understand this. So like these people have done exceptionally well. We can get rid of this for now, I guess. This name has done exceptionally well. Why? Because yields were going up. So they were able to lend more money. And between that spread, they make money because Square lends money to businesses. Very similar to like PayPal, right? Same thing. So as yield rallies, I mean, it's not a coincidence since March that these have been going up, right? That's not a coincidence. It's right around the bond market. Same thing with this. So if yield is dropping, which it is, they're not going to make as much money. Therefore, they may come in. That's it. That's the trade. ET. I haven't heard that one in a while. Wow. I mean, that just looks like it's just going to keep going. Look, I would use pullbacks to be buyers of energy. I mean, until I'm proven wrong and I make a lower low on some of these names, I'm not getting out. I mean, I'm willing to ride them like that. Like this, you rallied, lower low, rallied, right? Higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, lower low. Didn't even close below a lower low, right? Right here. Didn't even close below this lower low, right? And then from there, what did it do? Rally an upshot. So that's what you need to see. This is what the market can do. I mean, the whole equity market could do this. You could undercut and then just explode. Like that can happen. You know, you're not seeing massive dumping here. In my opinion, you're not. So something to think about. And let's just watch what happens. Let's just, let's not get crazy here. You're not in a specific spot where this is a clear read. If you read anybody that's putting out pieces that have been trading for a long time, this is not extremely clear. I like that chart a lot. I would be using the pullbacks to add to it. I'd love to see it down $1, right? I don't know that you're going to see it down $1. So, if you break over that level again today, just buy it. I mean, you just have to print it. If you break over that and you want to be in that, you have to just print it. Understand what you're dealing with longer term. Your next spot's going to be 12 and a half. You're going to have an issue with, but I like it. I like it a lot. That could run. So, and especially on days like today, like if you see that come in and then turn, that could definitely go. So, but I like the oil names here. I'm in LNG. I'm in BPT. I don't know why I have such a hard time with that. I hope that they get hit again so I can add to them. So, but my position and the way that I'm looking at it is I'm willing to ride these down a little bit because I think that over the next 3 to 6 months, they're going to be absolutely huge winners. So we answered this already, Indy. So yeah, the indexes spiked, and did they still spike? I mean, no, didn't last. Problem solved. Let's watch the open. I mean, I don't see anything rallying today. I mean, window dressing is over. So let's just keep getting into it. ET and D-Nut, please. ET, I like a lot. I like that name. D-Nut, let's take a look at that. I really like that name. This is trying. It's finally over that 50. These are all curling up, volumes picking up. I don't know. I don't really know how this goes. I would tell you that watch this level. So let's clean all this off. So these trades are very simple from that standpoint. Let's clean off this segment line, and we don't need this up here, right? And let's just get rid of this and remove this line. So here's your level, 1550, straight across, right? You see that? Here. Holds, right? You can see the battle going on here. Rejection, rejection, rejection. So I probably don't want to buy there yet, right? You can kind of see this whole thing playing out, right? Like you could see this base, right? So you need to break out of this base. Well, very simple. Let's just look for a close over 1550. Maybe it pushes, right? Like this. Maybe it doesn't. But that's your first step, 1550 on that. But that's what I would look for anyway. Yes, I like ET. Hi, Anna. I like that a lot. What's going on, Samira? Wow. I don't know what they do. I mean, yeah, it's a really tough one. So this is pretty clear, right? You got a seller up there. So if you could trim into that and watch that particular level, I mean, you definitely have a seller there. You're unable to close above it. And that seller's walking themselves down. See it? The seller's actually walking themselves down right here. Look. So, and now the other thing that would concern me, it depends on how, look, you don't want to be the last person holding the bag. So what you need to do is you need to scale out of it, right? So just watch that level. You break that, you're going to go to here, and then you're going to test this. If you break this, if you break that level, you have to assume you're going to go to here. All right. So breaking 10 would probably get me out. Now this is going to be manipulated, right? I mean, that's what's going on here. So they could take you to 10 and then just rip it. So something to play with, something to think about. You're seeing some action there, aren't you? I don't know that. I don't know that's my kind of trade, but maybe it goes. I just don't see it yet. I mean, like, look, here's your undercut, right? Here, let's blow this up. So there's your undercut, right? And we're just looking at this little piece. That's all we're looking at, right? Kind of looks like every other stock yesterday that reversed, right? So I don't know that I'd be in a big hurry here. I'd be wanting to see a close above this before I got into a huge hurry. Just how I would be viewing it. So, I just look, things are really cloudy right here. You just have to understand that. Good morning, Alberto. LNG, what's going on, John? You're going to bid down today, and you're going to be all over the place today. I don't know. I mean, here's how I would look at this longer term. You're basically following XLA. All right. If you really look at this and you look at XLA, you're basically following this trade, right? So that's how this is going to trade. I would argue here, we actually bought this. All right. I bought it and we talked about it in the trading room, but this is when you bought, you bought peace talks. How'd those peace talks go? Okay. I think everyone's very delusional over how long this is going to take. Even seeing like things like this start to come in, like it's shocking to me that people all of a sudden they're not getting these trades. And as they come in, I think they present opportunity for those that truly get it. Now, the better trade might be energy because that's where people are going to put their money. But these kinds of names, when they get hit, you should be buying them. I mean, this was an outright buy. This was an outright buy, right? So, I'm in this. I'm long this. I'd love for it to come back down to 132 today, right? And see, or come down to here, 133.5 and test this level. I mean, I'd love to see that. I don't know that we're going to. So far, all I see is buying all morning in these names, right? I mean, that's all you're really saying. Any like little blip here, you're just seeing buying in it. So, and you're just seeing the bot, and you're seeing like oil. They just said, oh, by the way, we're going to dump an extra 1 million barrels a day for the next 6 months on what's going on. We're going to decrease supply by 5%. Market even move. You're down 5%, $6, and people are getting excited. I mean, it's telling you what the problem is. So just be aware of it. I like it a lot, John, but I would use that level. Good morning, Michael. ZIM and BB. ZIM I like. I like this. Look, you're just in a situation where, you're hoping to hold here. Now, if you don't hold here, let's get rid of I'll leave the 8 in. But if you don't hold here, then the trade's probably busted. Right? You just might bounce around in here. You might do nothing. So I don't really, I liked the breakout yesterday. I thought it would go. It did not go. It rejected. I thought at least we'd get up to this 78. People are going to want to own this for the next dividend. I mean, I think that's pretty clear. Maybe they're going to wait for that dividend. Maybe they're not. So something to think about. BB. I like the name. I think it's a very simple trade. So yep, you're trying to hold, you're trying to build. Look, you're in a major downtrend. Okay. That doesn't mean that you can't bounce up to this level, right? You can, but you're in a major downtrend. I mean, peak after peak. I mean, it's telling you they're just walking it down. So could you rally here? Sure. You could, but I would just sell right into it. I mean, I would not be investing long-term in this. It's the best way I can explain it. Do I think oil and gas is done? No, not even close. I think you might come in today. Maybe you come in today, maybe you don't. I'm really curious to see what happens today with Biden's speech and what OPEC does. I would not be surprised to watch OPEC and Russia do something that drastically affects what Biden just did. It wouldn't shock me at all, not even a little bit. That's not what you asked. I don't know why that came up. Hold on one second. BTU. Why is that coming up? That's weird. I just typed BTU. BTU. Okay. So no, I don't think this is over. I mean, I'm popping out. I'm over. I'm consolidating. I'm not really breaking a whole heck of a lot, am I? Like, I'm not breaking the 21 day. Have we closed below the 21 day yet? We haven't. Right. Every dip has been what? Every dip in energy has been what? A buying opportunity. Since when? Since the beginning of the year, right? Look, the energy policy we have right now is not conducive to energy prices dropping. It's that simple. It's not a political statement. It's a fact. What's going on is not conducive to energy prices being down and being sustainable long term. It's that simple. So until that changes, oil prices are going to go up. I personally think we could see oil prices hit all-time highs. That's my belief. But if I was to trade this, if I close below the 21 day, I'd probably use that as a sign to get out. LAC, yeah. I mean, there's been a lot going on there in that space. And maybe that continues. I mean, it seems to be, once it broke out, that was it. It went. And it seems to be doing exceptionally well. Now you have that huge move yesterday. Just see how it plays. I mean, that's a big move. So maybe that continues. A lot of people are looking at the EV space and what's going on there. So maybe that continues to move. So I'm trying to jump ahead here. I think I'm getting a little faster. Anna, BA. So Anna, they're going to be affected by oil prices. So if oil prices go down, they should go up. If I wanted to be long this, I would definitely wait for it to get over this 50, because if you just let's get rid of all these lines, get rid of all the annotations, and let's just clean this up to make it so simple that we can just see it glaring at us. You can see what it respects, right? So every single time that we're over this, we don't hit a higher high, right? We never really hit a higher high, except here we kind of did, gave us the idea that it was going to break down, broke down again, right? So I would not be getting overly excited about it unless you're looking for a short-term trade. I mean, you should be able to kind of get a read on what's going on here, but let me just put this in. I mean, it's pretty clear what your direction is. So I wouldn't be in a big hurry here. I mean, maybe you can bounce up to something like this, but it's pretty clear direction to me. I don't really see the reason to bottom fish this right now. It's not something that I would find remotely, overly appealing. You're welcome. So HYMC, again, if you have time. Also, MULN made about 30% yesterday. Look, this market's telling you everything that you need to say, okay? It's telling you that we're going to trade the smaller names, and we got super aggressive yesterday on what we're trading. Can this go? Absolutely, this can go up. People want to play it. This can absolutely go up. Just don't be the last one holding the bag. You have to sell into strength and then just trade around that position. Could it spike up to here? Sure, why not? Could it? Absolutely. I mean, there's a difference between it doing something and it being manipulated, right? I mean, this guy at AMC is very smart. Like, the CEO is not a dumb person. I mean, he went out there, loaded the boat on this, then came out and said, we own this. We're investing in mining companies now. Everybody went crazy and they want to be a part of it. And they got all the people on Reddit to talk about it and spread it. And now look at it. So he took a defunct company and he just made a killing. Now, if you think he's not selling into this or trimming his position, and selling to retail, I mean, that's a completely different conversation. But just get out. Like as you're in, scale out of it. In the next 3 months, they have to raise it and a lot of money. Let me put it to you that way. In the next 3 months, they have to raise a lot of money. So, their burn rate's insane. Okay. Like their burn rates are just insane. And I'm not sure where these people thought the burn rate was going to come from. Same with Rivian. Like, I'm not so sure where they thought this money was going to come from. But to me, these things are pretty much set up to roll or to go sideways. Something like this is a really simple trade as well, like 57. You want to short it. I mean, here's where you can short it and then just see how it goes. Same thing here. Like eventually, could this pop up? Sure. But eventually it's going to break. This is probably a zero and sold for parts eventually. So trade it knowing that. What about Oxy, MRO? Let's take a look at them. Yep. So, I mean, to me, these trades are relatively simple. Let me clear this off. So to me, these trades are relatively simple until I start taking out lower lows like this, which I could do, right? I could roll. I could break. I'm not seeing that since we've been talking. I've got oil up another $1, but I could break. I don't know that we're going to break, right? So to me, if I start taking out lower lows, which we have yet to do, right? All year long, we have yet to take out lower lows all year long, right? Until I start doing that, I have very little interest in selling these and not buying the dips. If I start taking out those lower lows, my position may change. I may go, oh, you know what? I'm wrong. This is something I need to look at. I need to start scaling out of these. Right now, I'm not in that position. I'm certainly not in the position to think that tapping oil reserves is going to be a long-term solution. I mean, I've been around a long time. MRO. Same thing. Look where you pulled back to. I mean, this is exactly my point. And I'm not saying it doesn't happen today, but this is the simplest trade in the world. If you close below that level, get out. If you close below that level, not if you hit that level. If you close below it, get out. And then what you can do is just wait. Just literally go out there and wait and see if it rallies back over that. If it does, then maybe it's a false breakout. If it doesn't, just get out of the trade. Get out of the way. But all I've seen is these levels being bought every time we get to the 50-day, right? So maybe you break them. Maybe you cut underneath of it just to shake people out. Maybe you get back to the 50-day again. See, I wouldn't want to go for that. I wouldn't want to drop that level if I was in it. So I would be using that as my break point. And so far, I'm seeing the markets like they're trying to pick up again. You're trying to rally. The Nasdaq's trying to rally. The Qs are trying to rally. So let's see how it plays out. So I think that's good. I mean, hopefully, it can hold, but it doesn't really seem it to me. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it can do that. It can absolutely do that. So let's just keep going. SPX or ES. So I don't think this system I'm on has ES. I don't think it does it that way. I just try to use this one because it's simple. Doesn't have futures though. If it does, I'm not aware of it. I should probably look into that. I like this level that I have there. I had it a little higher. It's actually probably a little higher than where I have it. But if you just kind of go across where you're at, I mean, it's pretty clean stuff, right? Like there's your break. You can see these levels where we're at, right? And you can see how this is resistance right where we are. Might be a little higher, but you can see how you've been battling all in that 458 level. You can see how you held it yesterday. Maybe you hold here and you form a flag and then you break out and go higher. That'd be great. For me, I just have to watch these levels because, and a lot of people that haven't traded during this period of time are not getting it. So like in 99 and 2000, which there's a lot of like similarities to what's going on here right now. We would have 20% rallies and then it would just take out a low. And my concern is that we've rallied so much that at a minimum, we should be pulling back if we're hitting these levels. Now, if that's not the case and we start taking out highs again, well, it's risk on. I mean, that's really what you have to. Yep. And then if you get stopped out, you get stopped out. So if you want to buy the Qs, if you sell down today and you get to that 365 level, right? You try the trade and then you just have a tight stop. You know, that's really how you have to view it. Give me a second here. So look, the outlook for today, I'll tell you today's word, right? Today's word should be cloudy. I mean, that's exactly the word that you should be using to describe what's going on here. This is very murky stuff. Nothing is settled. I don't think that he's going to have any great impact. Biden's move is going to have any great impact on oil. I wouldn't be surprised to see oil go up by the end of the day after OPEC. That would not shock me at all. I wouldn't be surprised if he did something because he knows OPEC's going to do something or that Russia is going to do something, right? I wouldn't shock me at all if Russia came out and OPEC came out and said they're cutting it because they don't like the pricing pressure right now that's going on in the market. They don't like what's going on with India. There could be a myriad of things that could happen. So to say that this is cloudy is an understatement. You know, we just don't know. So we just kind of have to figure it out and wait and see. RH short. Wow. That was a mother of all shorts. You rallied here. Yeah. I mean, maybe if you break here, I don't know. That's a lot of volume. You'd have to wait and see if you break that level. That's a lot of volume. A lot. Earnings were not well received, obviously. So you're going to just have to watch and see how you do there and how you break that level. If you break that level. Right. Yeah, I'm just not so sure. I'm not so sure I would be rushing to short that with that spike. If I took out that low, I would. If I took out that low and I really wanted to try it, I may try it. And then if it works, it works. If it doesn't, just get out of the way because that can bounce. Remember, everyone and their mother shorts this name. I mean, it's like a huge short position. Here was your break, but you're rejecting the 50-day. It's pretty clear. Like you can't say short it here. I mean, you can't really short it into earnings if you're not already short. And if you were short for 2 months, you didn't make any money. I mean, that's the problem with shorts, right? That's why you always have to cover them. Yep. Please like the video. It helps with the algorithm. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Thanks for reminding me. XOM CVX. So I like this a lot. I think that as long as you're holding that 50-day, it's telling you everything that you want to know. I mean, that's really where I'm at. I can't stress enough that the outlook for the day is pretty cloudy, and we're just not seeing a real decision here yet in the market. So I would be very apprehensive to do a lot, just FYI. And let's just keep going. XLA. Oh, geez. I mean, if you're asking about a diversified alternative, there's all kinds of them. I mean, there's all kinds of like energy ETFs. And, you know, you just kind of have to figure out which one you want to be in, man. I could spend time on that. The question is, why don't you want to own those? Right? I mean, why don't you want to own the beasts? Like, why do you want diversification? I guess would be my question. You know, if you wanted diversification, you could look at like the oil drillers, or you can kind of look at these kinds of names, right? Like Gush, right? I don't know what side what side you're looking at. I don't know if you're trying to be short or long, but you could use the energy exploration kind of names. These kinds of names, like, look, this kind of stuff pulling back, you could buy these. I mean, I could spend a lot of time on this. If you could give me a little more color on what you're looking at, I might be able to point you in a direction. AMD weekly puts. What's going on, Utu? I'm just not there. I mean, I see it, and you can see the drop in it, right? I mean, that's what you're referring to, today's drop. You're seeing that. I'm just not there mentally like that. I want to be, shorting these kinds of names and shorting into this. I'm just not there yet. I'm not convinced that that's what needs to happen. Now with AMD, you're obviously seeing weakness and you're seeing follow through in the weakness, but I'm still above the 50. So I don't know that I want to short these here. I want to be really clear about that. Like for me, the shorts were, I'm going to short names that are interest rate sensitive, right? So like yesterday I shorted UPST and I'm not even up in that. I think I'm actually, well, it looks like we're flat now. So I'm probably flat in it right now, right? I'm short Tesla, 195. Okay. So there's $2. Now there goes, and now look, there goes oil. Now oil's up another $1. I mean, understand this is all connected. It's all one big trade right now, right? I'm not sure. And why am I going through all this again? Because I'm not sure that I want to short here. I'm not sure what happens. I have these ideas, but that doesn't mean I'm right. I have thesis, doesn't mean I'm right. Like, this long-legged doji, hold on. All right. This might break again. We might roll again, just like we did here. Remember when I was cautious here and then we rallied and everyone yelled? So like, could happen again. Like, we just don't know. So I'd be very apprehensive about shorting the strongest sector, right? And that's pretty much what I did with Tesla, was I shorted the strongest stock, because if it does break, that's going to go down pretty hard. And I'm not so sure that we're going to see window dressing today for a couple of reasons, but I won't go down that road. You're welcome, my friend, anytime. Lulu for a short. Didn't they just crush? Yeah, I'd be really very cautious shorting this. Very, very cautious. I wouldn't want to be shorting that. So, I mean, look at that move. No, I mean, I'd be looking to see if I could find a way into it, but you have a really big doji here. Let that play itself out. I wouldn't be doing anything at all. You could see everybody playing it before earnings, right? It's not really my style, but you can see that. SPR release in sight. Do you think oil will go down? I do think oil's going to rally. I mean, I don't know how to be any clearer, Laura. I don't know what's going to happen with this. I have no idea. Like, I don't really see this as a viable trade for me. Like, look at all these wicks, and I've only been above that level like once. So I'm going to have to wrap this up. I don't think oil is going down. I mean, I'm watching oil as we're talking, and I'm watching it rally all day long. And, the oil position that everybody was complaining about this morning or texting me that, oh, LNG is going to go down. LNG is flat right now. Oil's down 4% and LNG is flat. What do you think is going to happen today? Right? I mean, if you're concerned that you think oil is going to drop and energy stocks are going to drop, you're now flat on LNG if you want to get out. So I would be really careful betting against oil right now. The only thing that's going to change oil in the short term, and oil will get crushed when this happens, and energy names will come in hard, is when there's actual peace. And then you're going to have to realize that the sanctions aren't lifted. Good morning, Costco and Netflix. So look, these stocks make so much sense. Okay. I just want to see follow through, but Cost, BJ, they make so much sense, right? Especially long-term right now. Okay. This whole grouping, so much sense. If I can get over this today, I'm watching these for long-term holds. Right? Why? Because people are going to have to buy in bulk. Okay. The cost of things right now has just gotten excessive. It's just gotten absolutely excessive for the average family, and they're going to have to start buying in bulk. They're just not going to have a choice. And it's because of energy prices. So we're all aware of that. I mean, that's not a thing. Netflix, what's going on, Joy? I like it a lot. Someone in the room nailed that. Someone in the trading room nailed it. They're dead right. This is a complete rejection. This is a very easy short here, right? I mean, you rejected, made a lower low. Like here, zoom in, right? It's interesting. I have very little free time, but last night I tried to watch 378. Last night I tried to watch Netflix. Couldn't find anything on it I really wanted to watch. for whatever it's worth. It was kind of disappointing. I'm not a big TV guy anyway. SCCO. All right. No, just watch it. Look, copper, basic materials, all these names are going to go higher. I don't like these wicks. Let it make a decision before you do anything. But I'd be all over these. I would definitely be all over these. Window dressing is when a fund will buy a stock, usually for they'll buy them for a week, and they're doing it. Why? They're doing it so that they can get ahead of it and show their investors that they're in names. That's what window dressing is. You're welcome, Uto. Yeah, we went over Verizon. We went over PayPal. PayPal might have some issues today. TLT, bonds may rally. Thanks. Just thought if I see something obvious in mind, I told you, yeah, I mean, sometimes you see that though. You know what I mean? You're going to see things like that. Go look at XLK, right? Two names are 45%, Microsoft and Apple. So same thing, just different sectors. All right, everyone, I got to jump. I got to hop in the room. Everybody, trade to win today. You're welcome.